Welcome back to the Down in the Dirt podcast, where we are getting dirty talking baseball, and I am your host, Carson Lee. Thank you for joining me on episode number 9 and 10 of the podcast, the roundtable discussion with my teammates. If you're listening on YouTube, instead of breaking it into 2 parts, this will be the full episode of number 9 and number 10, the roundtable discussion I had with my teammates who all had multiple years of experience in professional baseball. Be sure to tune in again for next week's episode, which is part 1 of the roundtable hitting podcast that we did, where you really can get some insight on how to find success at the plate and become a professional hitter. As always, I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning into the show. While you're here, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could rate and review the show down below in the comments. This helps the show grow and also attract sponsors. Be sure to also tag me on social media whenever you are listening to the episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast and have notifications on so that you will know when a new episode drops. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me at CarsonLee5 so that you can get updates on the show and also send in a question to be answered on an episode. Now on to this week's episode, the roundtable discussion with my teammates. In Trinidad, Colorado, and we are going to do a roundtable episode with you guys. It should be pretty interesting because we have a bunch of guys in this room with pro experience. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Y'all know me. My name's Carson Lee, and I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce who they are.
I'm Cutter McDowell. I went to Lamar University, and this is my second year of pro ball.
I'm Garrett Toddy. I went to Lebec Community College and Bacone College, and this is my second year of pro ball.
My name is Zach Camerman. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. This is my third year pro ball, and I went to North Greenville University, starting pitcher.
My name is Nick Snyder from Los Angeles, California. This is my second year of pro ball, and I went to Holy Names University.
My name is Shane Brown. I went to the University of Central Florida, and this is my 8th year of professional baseball.
My name is Lane Gussler. This is my second year of pro ball. I went to school at Madonna University in Livonia, Michigan.
My name is Richard Edwards. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. This is my third year of pro ball. And I played college ball at Edward Waters College in Jacksonville, Florida.
My name is Kyle Porter. I'm a pitcher. I went to Tyler Junior College.
What's up?
JUCO Bandit. This is my second year of pro ball.
My name is Peter Pena. I went to Mansfield University. I'm a catcher. This is my third year of pro ball. And if you remember me, I just did the last episode. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Down in the dirt all day, every day, baby.
You're still not going to be number 1.
I am number 1 at the moment. Yo, this reminds me of D2, the Mighty Ducks. You ever see when they're all telling you where they're from and stuff?
All right, so now we have everyone introduced. I want to start off with the same script that we do on the previous podcast. Starting in high school, obviously I would assume we probably all got into baseball the same way. Probably started t-ball, parents threw us into it when we were 5 years old. Pretty much agree? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So when we got to high school, who all played multiple sports, and do you think that translated over to baseball? And do you, it's like a 2-part question, but do you advise guys playing multiple sports?
I'd say I'd definitely advise playing multiple sports. I mean, I listened to Pete's podcast, and he talked about, the explosive movements of playing football. And also, I mean, they talk about pitchers, there's only so many bullets in the gun. I believe that's with every arm. Playing year-round is great, but you got to have those other experiences playing other sports to be a all-around athlete. So definitely, I'm an advocate for playing multiple sports.
Same. I mean, we talked about it last time, but I think it definitely puts rest on certain muscles that you don't use. Definitely just teaches you different morals. In football, it's a very big culture. You can even say religion plays a part of it. I know, but for us, even in New York, we're praying all the time in football. You know what I mean? And baseball teaches you different morals as well. It's more of a mental game and stuff like that. I think it's just good to have a break, but I also think you need to be selective. Like we talked about, playing in the Northeast, I knew I had to focus more on baseball than play football my whole career if I wanted to get somewhere. You know what I mean? I just say be selective, but if you want to do it, go for it. It's only going to benefit you.
Yeah, because like I know, like we talked about in your case, just it being snowy up there, majority of the year, and then also like we also talked about I played basketball and how much I thought that like just moving side to side and constantly jumping and running up and down like translated to agility in baseball.
Exactly.
And then you have those athletic directors that tell you can only play one sport and kind of screws you. But
that's how my high school was. Our athletic director, you pretty much only got to play one sport. You're only if you're lucky, if you're like an actual like athlete of what he thought was able, like that you would think that he can play, would you play 2 sports? But my high school coach, like, you had to pick one. It's just what it came down to.
Yeah, so basically if you can't do it. So now when we were all seniors, who all was thinking about going junior college and who was thinking about going 4-year? Let's get the verdict here.
Well, my senior year of high school, I was only on varsity my senior year, so I kind of knew how my college plans were going to play out, and I wanted to go to junior college. I wasn't at that level, maturity level, playing level, to go straight to a D1 and play right away. So I chose to go to junior college.
You're only on varsity for 1 year?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. None of y'all know this man, This man is nice. I'm serious. That's crazy. Wow.
Lake Grossberg.
Yeah. I got you.
Porter, what about you? Because I know me and you both. Me and Porter went to TJC. He was the year after I left, so that's how we're connected.
Feathers up.
Feathers up, go Apaches. Doug Grin, what's up?
Dougie Fresh. I actually transferred into Tyler from a different junior college. But out of high school, I had no idea how the recruiting process worked or anything. I just kind of went with the flow. The first offer I got was some small school in Missouri and hopped on it, signed, and went up there, hated it, shoveling snow off the field in March. So I decided to transfer back closer to home. Found out Tyler had a workout, showed up. The rest is history and how I got into it.
And I want to piggyback off that, getting recruited. What kind of tips can we give these guys as far as getting recruited? Because I know, like with me, when I was in high school, I was sending out emails from having a visitor.
David Peterman.
So David Peterson will be joining the show now.
Nuts.
Throughout the rest of it. But anyways, like when I was a senior, I was sending emails to like all these guys. My big thing now is like I'll tell guys that ask me, like, like how do I get to college or how do I get seen by a scout? Like use social media to your advantage.
Get your name out there.
So like what kind of like recruiting tips from our own experiences can we give these guys? I know for all of us it's probably different, especially just from going from the different schools that we've gone to.
For me, I had offers out of state, and it got kind of expensive out of state. And I went to camps, baseball camps, at the colleges.
Like the showcases?
No, they have their own camps. And I went to UCF for a camp, and they offered me a preferred walk-on spot. And with Bright Futures, the scholarship, getting good grades, I took it and then earned my scholarship playing there. So, I mean, that's a different route. That was the route I took.
So you're an advocate for the camps at the colleges?
I mean, anything, I mean, I wouldn't pass over the camps.
Yeah.
I mean, you go there, you get to play in front of the coaches, and,
So when you're at the camp, because, it's like a 1-day, 2-day thing to getting seen, what kind of advice can you give to guys to make sure that they're performing their best, like what the coaches may be looking for, really just how to be comfortable in the situation and not put too much pressure on yourself to.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's stressful. You're going to be nervous and everything, but you got to stay within yourself and just stick to what you do. I mean, for me, I'm not a big showcase guy. I don't, hit a lot of home runs in showcase or anything like that, but you get that opportunity. You'll play games at the end of the camp, and, that's when you got to, play hard and do your thing and show it there. But, they give you a lot of opportunities at these camps, and it's a lot of one-on-one stuff. So, you'll get plenty of opportunities, and you'll shine.
Yeah. Anybody else with different experience, maybe to help go a different route?
I'll say this because me being from a small town in
So all you small town people,
all you small town people, all you small town kids, please listen up.
Just a small town.
I'm from a small town in Oklahoma. I only have like 1,200 people in my town, and the one thing that I'll tell all you small town ball players is, you know, they will find you. Someone will find you if you're good enough, but you have to make that effort to go find a place to play. They're not gonna roll up to your game with 20 people in the stands and make themselves known. They're just not gonna do that. You got to go to showcases. You got to go places to make yourself seen. You have to send emails. You have to call coaches. You have to take your career to the next level. I know that I got advised that people will find you. People will come watch you play. You know, just keep doing what you're doing and stuff will go the right way for you. I didn't get signed until 2 weeks before I had to go to school because I was waiting. Don't wait. Put yourself out there for people to see you and to see what kind of ball player you are.
make them not be able to turn you down.
Exactly.
If you don't mind with what Garrett just said, Garrett made some great points, Carson. I think the biggest thing through my experience in high school was the fact that everybody, there's a place for everybody. There's a place for everybody to play. It's just how bad do you want to play?
Exactly.
I'm from South Texas, and of course I'm not going to be able to play at UTSA, the University of Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech. I'm not going to be able to go to a Big 12 school or go to a big Division I program. But I'd say for any kid that's graduating high school, it really doesn't matter where you start. I think the biggest thing is it matters where you finish, and it's just the ride, the journey, where it all takes you.
Well, what me and Pena talked about was going somewhere where you're going to be able to develop.
That's what I was going to say.
You got to be able to.
Of
You
course.
can't have that relationship with your coach, and you're not getting the proper development on the field, then it doesn't do you any good.
How many kids did you play with in Houston that went to a, let's say, Big 12, SEC, Southland, Sun Belt Conference, and then after a semester, they're transferring, and now they're looking at JC options.
JUCO bandits.
Well, you see it all the time.
That's
Well, it's like my first year at Tyler, at Weatherford, they had the Big 12 Player of the Year or Freshman of the Year transferred out.
The shortstop.
Who was the catcher?
Catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, the shortstop's throwing like 96 across the field.
That was out to me. But I mean, they always had talent, so it was like
You got to say it right. I think the number one fault that people make in high school is that they go straight to the showcases though, and they don't put their money in development. And we talked about that. I said the Benintendi story is that, and I'm gonna say it for me. That's one mistake I made. I was always tall. That always impressed coaches. I remember I went to St. Bonaventure workouts at D1 school in upstate New York. I went to a little camp like Shane did when I was a sophomore. And I'm like 6'4", and I'm wearing the gold chain. You know what I mean? I'm serious. I'm popping it. I have the high socks, and they're all looking at me. They're like, I could tell they made eye contact. And then I run an 8.360, so I'm a chubby kid. I was chubby as hell, and like that was my problem. Is that I went right to that because I just wanted a scholarship. Whereas I think you need patience. They'll find you, like I said. Like I didn't go to JUCO until I was a senior. I didn't sign until I was a senior. But if I put more of all that money that I'm putting in the showcases into developing myself before I can feel confident to go there. Anywhere in baseball, you can't just walk in. You know what I mean? Shane Brown earned his spot in the camp. I bet you Shane Brown was working very hard. And that's why Shane Brown's playing 8 years of pro baseball. You know what I mean? He was definitely out working young Peter Pena, I'm going to tell you that right now. And now I'm playing catch up to him. It's just facts. You know what I mean? Just make sure you're putting in the development and practice for it. Nobody goes and that's why we hit BP, dude. We don't just go in a game dry. That's why guys throw pens. Don't think you can just walk into a showcase. There's very rare guys that can do that. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's like the thing that we talked about was don't be the guy going to the showcase, a lefty or let's say righty pitcher throwing 70.
Right.
If you're 18 years old, graduating high school, like you gotta be able to have self-reflection and know what you are, and know that senior over here that's going to whatever Big 12 school, he's still in 91. So like I don't compare to that. So maybe I need to go and work on myself to get to that point, to be able to go up to those opportunities and that showcases. But see if you could share your story, because I know it, to give it to them. It really is helpful for high school and then even to junior college.
So I didn't make varsity until my senior year. I was a junior on JV. It took a long time for me to develop my tools. I remember being a freshman, sophomore. I didn't run hard. I didn't have any power. I didn't throw hard. But then I grew into my body. I started working out, eating right. And people don't understand that eating right is more than lifting. It's more important than lifting. So you have to eat right no matter what. And then I just got better and better, and I got some eyes on me, and I had 2 walk-on offers for junior college, and I chose the one that I was going to play at the most.
Well, then from junior college going to Lamar.
Yeah, I ended up getting
your
hurt.
Resources to get there.
So I had a couple of coaches that knew the coaches at Lamar, and then that got the doorway open for me. But it's just walking on and being able to show your stuff, because a lot of those guys are on scholarships and you had to outcompete them. So it's just all about working hard.
Did any of y'all go to a 4-year for all 4 years, like the same one? You did?
Yeah.
What do you think the pros of that are? Like versus going to a junior college and getting to play, like as a freshman, getting to play as a sophomore and getting, 100, 200 bats in those 2 years. So like, could you kind of like, cause that's kind of like my, why I tell guys go JUCO, so they can go and play and not, maybe you go to a big D1 school and end up sitting behind a guy. So that's kind of my reasoning.
I mean, I went in there and I was behind a guy and I started half the games and just had to, play my way into a starting spot, and then, somebody might get hurt and then you take over and you never go back to the bench,
Yeah.
I mean, it works out for different people, and I mean, I know a lot of guys that went to junior college and did well, got drafted, or then went on to the 4-year school and then performed. And there's nothing wrong with going to, junior college or D2s or stuff like that. There's great players everywhere, and you just got to go where the opportunity is to play and develop, definitely.
Was that like one of the big things about UCF, was that you were still able to develop even if you weren't getting the at-bats,
Definitely. There was great coaches there, and you were always putting in the work, always getting better, and when you got onto the field, when you got your shot, you were ready to go.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. Just go somewhere where you're able to develop, have a good relationship with your teammates, coaches, etc. But now, getting into college, making that transition, being away, having to have real responsibilities, how would y'all say that transition was for y'all?
It was hard for me, personally, because I hadn't really ever been away from my family, and it was just me, my mom, and my sister. So I took, from a young age, since I was 3, I took mantle of being man of the house, So I'm not gonna lie, first day I was away, I cried 3 hours straight, But it's something my mom wanted me to pursue my dream, you know what I mean? She gave, like I said, I think I said this in the last podcast, she gave me a life to do this, you know what I mean? So I owe it all to my mother. I wouldn't be here without her, because it was just me, her, and my sister since I was 3 years old. So, I mean, for me, it was hard, but it definitely became more comfortable as I kept doing it. I kept living my dream, becoming an independent person, just understanding how to do things, stop being self-reliant on other people.
Leaving home for me was kind of easy just because my parents had set me up for that. Hey, it was, in high school it was, hey, me and my mom would go out date night and they'd leave me at the house and they said, fend for yourself.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I got to cook for myself. I got to do what I got to do around the house before they get home, or else they'd be upset with me. But it was easier for me, and also, when you see the same people every day for your whole life, you want to get out. You want to get out. So for me, it was, sure, I went from small town to small town, but it was an easy transition for me. It was fun for me to be on my own, but I can understand. I had a roommate that he missed home a lot. Dude went home every weekend. I understand how that is. But for me, it was getting out, getting to go meet new people and play baseball. I'm a very extroverted person, so it was it was it was my time for me to
Be a peacock.
I guess you could say be a peacock, man.
Fly.
Spread my wings and fly. Absolutely.
Boomer sooner, right?
No, shut up. Go Pokes.
I know, like, for me, though, the big thing was just, like, making the transition of being on my own, having my own responsibilities, and, cleaning my room, taking out the trash, getting my homework done, not staying out late, doing all those kind of things. What did any of y'all win conference tournament in your schools? Who that one won?
I guess. I didn't know, but I guess.
Who like went to winning, and then who was at like losing program?
I was at both.
I was a loser.
Winning and losing program.
Okay, let's talk about the losers.
Thanks.
Hey, can I snag one of those pieces of pizza?
100%, bro.
Yeah. However,
I was at a program that was ranked nationally, and I think we got up to seventh in the country at one point in the season, and we ended up missing the regionals. We had a one-game playoff to get into the regionals at Texas Tech in Lubbock, Texas, and we lost to Odessa Community College, and that was the end of it.
What school was this?
Just,
What school
that
was
was
this?
at Clarendon College, and like the toughest thing was being able to travel on that trip, because I was a red shirt, being able to travel on that trip, and just the amount of time I'd spent with the sophomores and everything that I'd learned from the sophomores and everything like that, and just riding back to campus and just looking at those guys and thinking, wow, like I'm never gonna be with these guys again. Like I'd only spent one season with them, but it was my first season away from home, away from my family, everybody, and it's just looking at them and thinking, these guys were so hard on me at times, and at times that, they knew when to push, they knew when to kind of ease up, but I'm never gonna, I wouldn't say see these guys, but I'm never gonna step the field with these guys again, and that was something that was actually very difficult.
Yeah, just because build those relationships.
Build those relationships, exactly.
But for us losers, shit, when I was at Prairie View, we lost for 3 straight years. I kind of want to talk about like how you get through that adversity of losing every day and just like still finding a way to get better and going through that shit. Like how you dealt with it and still were able to make your own progress to help the team.
I think mostly it was pride. I think for like myself, like the last college I went to, Holy Names University in Oakland, like we were terrible. Like we get just boat raced by some of the teams, and like you can tell there were some guys that just went out there and just wanted to go out there, just be on the field, play baseball, and be with the guys, and some guys that actually wanted to get better every single day. Like I had to go and our field was off campus, and I had to go and pretty much steal the key so I can go hit before practice started. Because we weren't allowed to have the key right there, so I literally just stole the combination and got the key so I can go open up the field. Like that's just some of the stuff you just have to do. I'm not saying to go steal stuff, but I'm just saying like you have to find your own opportunities to get better.
Yeah, I agree with him totally, because that's how my team was at Mansfield. I transferred, and I mentioned this, like we made a joke. There was the guys that wanted to be ball players, and then there was the frat boys. They wanted to use the fact that they were a ball player to get into parties or throw parties. And like I said, I love all those dudes, but sometimes it was frustrating because if guys wanted it more, you could have had a more successful team.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all about investing into your own career and, still putting in the work to get better. Because I know
it's not even the times when you're struggling. It's the times when you're actually doing well that you should still put in the extra work.
Yeah.
There's always times where you're like, oh, I'm hitting well. I don't need to go take the extra hacks and here or there. It's baseball. It's a roller coaster.
Exactly.
You're going to have your high points, you're going to have your low points.
It's a game built on failures. You got to figure out how to get through it.
And I remember the times like I'm in junior college, freshman year, like I can't hit a curveball to save my life. Me and my buddy went after practice every single day, pitching machine, and just put curveballs on. Then we actually found it.
Yeah.
We figured out how to hit it, and then it kind of progressed, and that's how we got better. And that's how we ended up being able to get out of junior college and go into schools that were a little bit better, but like we got out of the junior college and to further our careers.
And for me, I'll just throw the record out there. We went 12-30 my freshman year. We had guys saying that their hamstring was tight so they wouldn't have to play that day. But I'll tell you this, like, and I hit 344 that year. I had a pretty good year as a freshman. And so the thing for me was going up to the plate and saying you're the baddest MFer on the field right now.
Whoa.
And sorry, censored that out, but you're the baddest dude on the field right now. You're gonna square up this baseball. That's what kept taking me back to the ballpark every day with a smile on my face. Was like, hey, you get to do something right now that a lot of your buddies back home would love to be doing. They'd love to be on a ball field right now, but they didn't put the work in that you did to get here. So you might as well capitalize on it right now. We're not playing well right now, but you might as well capitalize on what you got.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. And then my sophomore year, we lost 10 games in a row in one point, and I was playing for every single one of them. And it was just like, hey, help your team win a ball game today. You guys are still in somewhat of a playoff race. You're still trying to get in there. We ended up getting in by the skin of our teeth, but you guys are still in a playoff race. Go see if you can help your team win a ball game today. Whether that's catching a good ball game, playing first, you know, or going 2 for 3 or whatever. Like, find the little thing that you can to help win a ball game that day.
Yes. You just throwing in a yeah? Overall, though, what was our favorite college experience that we had? Because I know for me, baseball-wise, getting to play at A&M when they were ranked number 1 in the country and they were on their 27-game win streak. We're playing at Bluebell with 10,000 people there sold out. It was just an incredible experience. Anybody got their favorite experience?
Yeah, my junior year we played LSU at home, and they were ranked 7th in the country, and we ended up beating them. I want to say 14-12. We had the most people we've ever had at Lamar University. I think 3,500 plus people in the stands. Like, it was easily one of the funnest games I've ever been in.
Going 9 for 10 in a doubleheader against a college that didn't want me after I made a visit up there. They said they wanted me, but they never called me back. Going 9 for 10 and kind of showing it up their rear end, that was a pretty good experience right there.
Yeah, you can't tell a man's from Oklahoma by that.
I'm
a good memory, though.
I'm an Okie, tried and true, proud to be an Okie.
It's a good memory for sure.
My freshman year at Eastern Michigan, we got to play Clemson at their place for 3 games to open up the year. That was pretty wild. You get to see that was a powerhouse team. You get to see what real ball players were like. Doing 4 games, like showing to the field for real. It was crazy.
I have a second one. Playing at Wichita State was pretty cool too, but no one was at that game. So we played in front of like 20 people, but that was pretty cool too.
Transitioning into pro ball, Shane, I want to see you, because I know you're the only one in this room that's gone through this process, but kind of like the draft process. And 'cause I know going, your whole year kind of talking to guys. How to not get distracted, but then also just to handle the process and make the best decision.
The process had a lot of scouts coming to the college, and you fill out questionnaires. You get a lot of letters. That was the coolest thing, getting letters in your locker from all these big league teams and having meetings with them and filling out questionnaires. It was really cool. You get a lot of attention, and it's a lot of fun. And then on draft day, back then we watched it on the laptop. They didn't have it on MLB Network, but watching your name come up on the screen, it was awesome. It was really cool. I enjoyed the process a lot. It was a lot of
signing, making that decision, especially if But then you get drafted a few times.
Junior year and senior.
So making the decision, as a junior, should I go back or should I stay, or sign? Can you kind of shed light on that?
Junior year, I got drafted late. I was out in Alaska playing summer ball and saw that I got drafted, and it was late, and I wanted to sign. I wanted to go play pro ball, and I talked to my head coach, Terry Rooney, and he talked me into going back to school, and he upped my scholarship and talked me into going back to school, and that it would be, the right decision for me. And it was. I went back to school and got even better, put up bigger numbers, and I got drafted higher my senior year.
For Lane and Cutter, because I know y'all have been in the Frontier, Cutter, and Lane in USPBL, what do y'all think's the difference in the leagues? Like, what separates guys?
For Frontier and Pecos?
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
general? I would say the pitching, the ability to command all pitches for a strike, being able to attack the inside and outer half is what really ate me alive last year. Not being able to hit an inside pitch because they pound you in, especially with a wood bat. So you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, and everyone can hit a fastball no matter how hard you throw. We had guys throwing 97 up to 100 miles an hour, and people were piecing it up. Like, you got to have secondary pitches, third pitches. I'd say a lot of people take a lot of pride in early work. Like, people out there getting in cage work before games, ground ball before games. Like, people get out there very early. Games will be at 7 o'clock. People will be out there like 1, 2 o'clock doing early stuff. So, I mean, like, it's just like a big league approach. We had a lot of guys, like AA guys from Marlins, outfielders and stuff like that, who have been there and seen what it's like to be in that type of environment. So they like kind of brought that and passed it down to the other guys. So that was cool for the experience for sure.
Yeah, you learn really quickly from the older guys what you need to do to be successful. I know guys would get there, myself included, at noon and just hang out in the locker room, hang out, watch TV. We had a weight room in our locker room or in our building. We had 2 cages, one with a self-feeding machine. There's always room to get work in, and that's what you have to learn. That to be professional, you have to put in the extra work, and usually it's by yourself.
Yeah, and if they don't see you putting in the extra work by yourself, you normally get the snips. So
You have to show out for sure, or else you're gonna be gone fast.
What do y'all do to handle like the daily grind of baseball, especially Pecos baseball?
Myself, I talked to Rich a lot about this, and that's that. I talked to a friend in JUCO, and he said that a lot of people that try to be selfless on the outside really aren't. You're not giving yourself enough love on the inside. On the inside, you need to be a selfish person and give yourself love. That doesn't mean, if Carson's like fielding ground balls at first, I'm gonna just go over there and take first from you and do that. I'm saying like just do things you love. So like for me, I love watching just videos. Like I said, looking at MLB expansion, just watching videos of like anime. Like it's weird, but I do. You know what I mean? Just like I love watching tennis. That's my second favorite sport besides baseball. You know what I mean? I try to do as many of those things as possible to give myself happiness, because when I give myself as much happiness as possible, I can give it to other people. When you're selfish in here with yourself and what you love to do, you can express that on the outside and be selfless on the outside. Whereas if you do it vice versa, you don't give yourself love, you want to be selfless on the outside, it turns into a very selfish person because you want certain things to go certain ways. So that's how I handle the daily grind. That's just,
You just got really deep.
hey man.
I agree with that though.
Yeah.
We just went to a whole nother level.
I'm mind blown right now.
Hey man, I've had practice. This is my second one,
No, but he brings up a good point though. Like,
It's just a conversation.
There's a point in time there's a point in time during every day when you're playing baseball every day that baseball stops and your life starts again. And for me, like, I mean, one, bodily wise, you got to get your rest every day. But that's a given. But for me, it's once the day ends, I call my dad, and we talk about what happened in the game, how your at bats went and stuff like that. But then it stops, and it's okay. How's everything at home? How's family? How's this? How's that? What are you doing? This and that. So I want to get away from the game, so that I don't, because I mean last year I didn't do that, and I struggled mentally to perform. I struggled mentally on the field, and because it was my off the field life.
Because you were never separating yourself.
Exactly. I was constantly thinking about what I'm going to do, my next at bat, and who's throwing tomorrow, stuff like that. There's a point in time where you got to get away from the game. Do something to get away from the game. And for me, it's either watching movies, listening to music. I mean, whatever it is, taking a drive, whatever it is, you got to get away from the game at some point if you're playing this thing every day. Because it's going to eat you alive if you don't.
I think my biggest thing, like, is just making sure I'm still being active and working out.
I mean, to be honest, man, PD said it best. In 3.5 weeks, reality starts for all of us.
Yeah,
that's what I always think about.
Correct.
I could be working 9 to 5, dead end job. That, you know what I mean? Just like we all could. You know, we're all blessed to live a dream and have an opportunity that a lot of people don't have. So that's what keeps me sane, I guess, what you would say.
Definitely.
But for this to be successful, my opinion, you know, indie ball, it's very, very, it's very contradicting. I love it, but it's one of those things. To be successful, you almost have to put everybody in front of yourself. But then it's kind of like what Pete said. You have to have that selfishness inside. You have to think, still, I have to do what's best for myself in any given situation. Because at the end of the day, nobody for one wants to wake up and say, you know, my dream is to play in the Pecos League, or my dream is to play in the American Association. It's just, you know, and as great as the American Association is, and how amazing it is, who wakes up, who lays in bed at night as a kid and dreams that?
Nobody.
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 No. But you have to take this business as a job, because it now is a job. No matter what the paycheck says, or if there's a paycheck at all, you have to treat it as a job at this point. You have to put in that 9 to 5. You have to treat those 8 hours. You're pushing a time clock when you get to the field.
Yeah, it's more than 8 hours. It's way more than 8 hours.
It is way more.
You got about 7 hours in the field. You got about 3 hours recovery. Like
it's a 12-hour day, and
10-hour drive.
And sometimes you play extras.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's longer. But you know, Cutter made a great point. Like, you see a lot of veteran guys and whatnot. They live at the field. You look at Dustin Pedroia. I think, you know, if he could sleep in the clubhouse, he would have. I mean, he was at the field every day at 10:30 in the morning, just hanging out, you know, having his coffee, watching whatever on the tube, and he's hanging out, and then he's gonna, you know, maybe get a light lift in. He's gonna get some cage swings, and then he's gonna go out there and he's gonna get his early work. To be successful in this business, you have to live at the yard, and you have to breathe. I don't even want to say this game at this point, because it's still a game, of course. Yes, it's something we're passionate about, but you have to think of it as a business at this point. You have to think, I have to go out and do my job every single day, just like it's a 9 to 5 job for us in the off season, or we're not going to have that job in a week or 2 weeks. Who knows? A day to 3 days. Contracts in indie ball, they're not day to day; they're hourly.
So what have you done for me now or lately, kind of thing? You know what I mean?
What have you done for me hourly? Yeah.
You got to be willing to do anything to get to the next level. Anything. MLB should be number one priority for everybody playing baseball. 100%. 100%. Like you said, no one wakes up and wants to play anything other than the highest level. So
shoot for the show.
Yeah.
Because if that dream doesn't work, I mean, where you finish from there.
You have all your other hobbies and stuff that
yeah.
keep you sane while you're playing baseball. You know, you have all the stuff that you can fall back on that you've always had besides sports and besides this other stuff going on. You have all the friendships and relationships you've built over time.
Exactly.
You know, people say what they want about the Pecos League or anything. At the end of the day, like, I've been here 3 years, and every year it's gotten better. And at the end of the day, whatever happens. Like, some guys here played higher levels. At the end of the day, we're all pro ball players. Not a lot of people can say that.
What's on Baseball Reference?
We're all, all of us here are going to be on Baseball Reference, or already on Baseball Reference. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot. It's a huge step. You know, sometimes I feel like it's underappreciated because, like you said, we all aim for the stars. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's nice to sit back sometimes, give yourself some credit, and that's the self-love I talk about. Like, you know, just look at how far you've come before you take that next step. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes guys lose that. They don't realize, you know, that they want so much. You know, it's like one of my coaches told me when I was young, I had the Kobe Bryant mentality to be my fault. I never had enough, and I would never be happy, and it would never, you know, it would be my downfall. And that's something I really self-reflected on, looked in the mirror, and said, like, you know, sometimes I need to look back and just give myself a pat on the back or just say good job before, you know, I go back into that grind mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's what
That's
we're told
good.
this
That's
business
deep.
is to never
That's
settle.
deep,
though.
bro.
Yeah.
That hit me deep.
Keep
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, that hit me deep.
I'm just trying to get you talking.
But that's
That
what
hit
we're
me
told is to
deep.
never settle throughout this business.
Definitely.
Never settle and never be okay with where we're at.
Exactly.
Well, and think of all the indie guys that have already made it to the show. Like,
Yep.
the Dittos in
It's
the
all,
front.
yeah, it's all possible.
The Colabellos, the Peraltas, the Delabars, like it is. It's very possible.
Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer has American Association with him. I mean, you're right. You know?
What was that from?
Tanner Roark. It was
Casper?
Scott Casman. I mean, that's a great story.
Even a couple of guys, I can't name them off the top of my head, but I know there's like 2 or 3 pitchers that played in Pecos. They're in
Chris Smith.
Yeah, they're in the show.
What's oh gosh, I can't. Chris Edwards, I believe.
John Edwards.
John Edwards.
John, yeah.
John Edwards,
Yeah.
the Texas Rangers. I mean,
Yeah.
also a cancer survivor. You know.
Rich Hill.
Pecos. We're talking. Those 2 were just Pecos guys that. they ended
Rich
up-
Edwards.
That's what I almost said. Rich Edwards.
Good.
Well, that's like the dude
Not yet.
that was working at the brewery in Milwaukee and played in the Frontiers that one year. The next
Christian
year.
Yelich.
No. What?
Chris Colabello.
No, he's a pitcher.
I know who you're talking about.
But he was Marlins
No.
pitcher of the year at the next year they signed him.
Oh,
And he was in the show.
Richards.
Jeffrey
Yeah,
Richards.
yeah.
Change up.
No,
With the
Gateway
change ups.
Grizzlies. Gateway
Yeah.
Grizzlies. Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing with the Pecos League though is 80% of the Pecos League, they are, how do I put this? They're striving to be professionals. 20% of it is content saying they are professional on things that they can put on social media, or they can go back home and tell their
Right.
friends
Right.
and
Right.
whatnot, and saying, "Oh, hey, like
Yeah.
I'm here, I made it." Like honestly, you know, that 20% is what gives this league a bad name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does so many great things for so many people,
Yeah.
and it's that 80% that are trying to do things the right way, move the right direction, that want to compete day in and day out, and that aren't content with being where they are.
Big, yeah. Complacency is a big plague in this league at times.
Definitely.
And you know, it's weird because I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, like, yeah, there's leagues higher than us, but we don't have the radar guns constantly. We don't have like the exit velocities on the scoreboard, and I feel like a lot of guys would be surprised at what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like there's so many. You see those stories. The rookie of the year, the one with Dennis Quaid. It's the rookie.
Rookie.
Remember how he threw past the speedometer and it said like 78, and he walked away disappointed, and then
It filled 98.
it said 98. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of guys in this league that have talent that they don't even realize what they're doing on a day-to-day basis because we don't have those records to put it down, or that, you know, those guns and things like that. And you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, you know, they just stay away from that complacency. They're going to see great things. Like I said, there's great talent in this league. You know, it's professional baseball, though. There's a lot of great talent. And, you know, as long as you stay away from those plagues, those distractions, sky's the limit, man.
5 years ago, if we were to put a Salina team in the American Association or the Can-Am, we don't win a single game. The level of talent has just gotten drastically better throughout the years. I'm amazed every single day.
Well, that's what I've said about this team. This team could freaking play in the Frontier or the Can-Am easily.
Nothing against this team. I think this team definitely compete. I think that what we see, what I was able to witness in a league like the Can-Am, is the level of consistency on a day-to-day basis. The understanding they have for the game of baseball is, in a way, not just the IQ, but just the way they go about their business is better, just because they have an all-around better understanding due to the amount of experience that they have. The more and more you sit and watch this game, you get a better understanding for it. I mean, you hear that coach when you're in Little League, and you learn something new every single day when you watch a game, right? But the more you sit and you study a game, you just get a full-on understanding for it, to where you're almost like, oh my gosh, baseball is really, it's like common sense in a way. As ridiculous as that sounds,
you're spot on.
it's just like, wow, like at some point you feel like everything kind of just clicks. And I think the biggest thing from seeing guys in the American Association and the Can-Am is just the understanding they have for the game. And it's, you might not understand certain things they're doing in certain moments of a game, but there's everything has a purpose. Now, when we had that Can-Am team last year, you see a lot of guys that maybe their approaches don't look very good at the plate, or maybe they get out there for some mound time and they're just trying to really let it eat. They are trying to showcase themselves. But what's very difficult for that in that situation is these managers are also sitting there saying, what is this guy's IQ level? What is his understanding for the game of baseball? And it showed for a lot of guys. A lot of guys got eaten alive. Then you have a guy like, Jordan Cummings, who just has a great baseball IQ in general. And you see that he goes out there, he says, okay, hey, I'm 88 to 90 today. My fastball has some sink. I'm gonna live on the corners. I'm not gonna try and be more than who I am. I'm not gonna try and light the gun at 94, 95 today, because that's not me. These managers see those kinds of things. I think the big thing is understanding your skill set and realizing who you are as a player, and then from there, kind of letting your IQ take over. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I really take things like when Albert Pujols says he's a line drive hitter, not a home run hitter, seriously, because he knows he's going to hit 100-plus balls for hits. Only 40, if you're elite, 40 of those, 30 of those are hits. Or home runs, sorry. And you're getting 170 hits, a year, probably, when he was in his prime. So think about that. He knows at the end of the day he wants to be productive all around.
Yeah.
And then I think of guys in the big leagues. With pitching, it takes me to pitching, it's like, these guys aren't trying to miss barrels in my eyes. They are throwing strikes, and their stuff misses the barrels for them. And that's why a guy like Rich, I talk to him all the time, the dude doesn't try to miss barrels at all. I really feel like that's a very high level of pitching in terms of IQ.
No, I told PB, I was like, he's freaking Greg Maddux.
Right, but that's exactly what I'm saying. I tell guys all the time, like, the more you seek things in life, the more they don't come to you. You know what I mean? Pitchers, what they try to tell you, they like he said, it's common sense. They try to throw strikes. That's why stuff is looked at as so highly, when evaluating a pitcher, because stuff's what's going to get you to miss barrels and things like that. But at the end of the day, you got to throw it in the zone.
Rich's shortest start on full rest this year might have been opening day when he went 6 innings at 67 pitches. But how many starts have you had this season to where you were 90-plus pitches?
Probably none.
Not a single start.
Let's be honest.
No, he's averaging 75 to 80 pitches a game. And as a defense, how do you not love playing behind that, whether he's getting barreled up or not?
Exactly.
You're in the game constantly. You're going to want to make plays because, for one, he's working fast, but two, he's keeping you guys in the game. He's not trying to go out there and blow it by every single hitter.
Very high level IQ right there, for sure. And that's why it just makes you.
Well, and that's the thing. Now that we're talking about Pecos has gotten brought up. For those that don't know what the Pecos is, it's indie ball, but you gotta kind of gotta take care of yourself. Would y'all agree?
For sure, yeah.
Low paychecks. You gotta drive yourself from game to game. So I kind of want to talk about that grind, because that's a whole different kind of grind. Handling those car rides and playing those travel days. Not living off fast food. Me and Cutter brought the Instapot.
That's nice.
In his mouth.
That's nice.
But it's
plays.
Doing like little things like that. It's got to keep helping you in shape during the season.
Yeah, I'll say having a good stretch routine is extremely important. You're driving a lot, your hips are stiff. A good yoga 7 to 10 minute routine really helps out, because if you get hurt, you're kind of on your own. There's no trainers, there's no ice. You gotta make sure.
Hey, y'all got any ice?
Yeah, you gotta make sure your hips are loose, legs are loose, everything. Because
for the Pecos League, everyone talks about how bad it is and stuff like that. But I'll say this: I heard Jeff Houston, who played in the big leagues for 10 plus years, he talked about when he got drafted by Montreal. It was low round, but he said they gave me $1,500 a plane ticket and a chance, and that's what we have here is a chance to. And that's really why I come back. That's why I came back this year. It's not to call myself a professional ball player. It's not to do anything like that. It's to play baseball and try and get to a higher league and to try and make a name for myself as a baseball player.
Build a resume too.
Just prove to yourself that you can do it. That
Sure.
You put in all this work, high school to college. Like, hey, I think I can play at this level. Why not try and see if I can do it?
I mean,
Prove everybody wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I hear it every day from people, I heard it from people last year. I heard it from people this year on other teams. Sometimes our team, it's like, oh man, this is awful. This sucks. We don't get anything. We don't get a single thing given to us, anything like that. Shoot, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I haven't got a single thing given to me my whole life when it came to baseball. I had to get it all. I had to get it all for myself, and I know all of us in that room are like that. So why don't you just take it like that? Why do we have to be given something if we're a pro ball player? Why don't we make it for ourselves?
Make them give it to us.
I think a lot of guys get very upset when they don't get drafted. I'm just saying that for my point of view because when Shane talks questionnaires, it brings up memories. Because I filled out a couple when I was in college. And it really makes you think like you're gonna get it. But here's the whole I guess positive and negative aspect. And this is nothing against anybody, but you see Shane. When you get the questionnaire, it's how it's supposed to be. You get drafted, and that's what you think. When you get the piece of paper asking you these questions, this, that, the other, and scouts are asking you where your mother works and things like that, you're like, oh, they definitely want me. But I'm that guy that, had all that, and then it didn't happen. So, instead of putting that into a positive mindset and start working my first year, I was really sour. You know what I mean? I was very sour. I got bad habits, and I feel like that's what I always try to do, man. When I look at other guys' problems and where they're coming from, I try to relate it to myself and see if I was ever there. And that's where I can see why guys, get so upset by that. I'm not justifying it by any means, but I just understand it. You know what I mean? Because I was there at one point before I had a realization.
Well, and I think that's the thing about the Pecos League too. You're saying, guys that don't end up doing all that stuff, they'll get drafted. Like, there's so many guys that tell PD no, like they don't want to play the Pecos Leagues, they're too good for it, and they're like agents gonna advise them to frontier, like not knowing how this stuff works. And it's a pride thing, they don't want to go play. It's the Pecos. But it's like, yo, if you're that good, play yourself out of it. Like if you were that good, you would have got drafted. And that's the thing. It's like, yo, we're just as talented as anybody in any other league. We just haven't had that opportunity,
I draw inspiration from anything, man. One of my favorite shows on Netflix, Last Chance U. You can't tell me you don't see similarities between Last Chance U and here, man. Like this is Last Chance U Pro Baseball Edition. You know what I mean? And there's guys from there that are in the NFL right now, got drafted or signed, whatever. So that's just something I always try to relate it to anything that I see. There's so many guys in so many sports, women, men, that are making it after going through a lot of circumstances. So. They're always inspirations in those aspects, and I just try to find as many as I can, try to be the next one myself.
I went to a Nationals workout while I was in high school, and I'll still remember to this day what the scout told everybody sitting in the stands is the game of baseball owes nothing to anybody. It doesn't owe a single soul out there a thing. You look at people that put their whole life into this game, into this business, and have done so many great things with it. But still, at the end of the day, it doesn't owe anybody anything. And I think, when you think of the Pecos League, it is what it is. But it's an opportunity for everybody. It doesn't turn people away. Everybody's given an opportunity to make a ball club. And I think with the Pecos League, with indie ball itself, is it's the guys that are successful in the Pecos or indie ball in general are the people that all they're really looking for in that moment is they're not thinking, let me put up this number, let me put up this number, let me put up this number, and I'll be in the American Association tomorrow. Or I'll be in affiliated baseball tomorrow. Let me just hit 97 on the gun, and I'll be at the Atlanta Braves here in 3-4 days. No, it's what this is for. Is it's for guys that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, that still have that drive to compete, and you know, most people say it's Saturdays, but like Indie Bowl's for the boys. That's really what it is. Like, it sounds stupid, but it is. It's you care about the guy next to you more than you care about yourself, while you're still being selfish. I don't know, it almost doesn't make sense. It's funny how things kind of fall in line the right way. It really is. Now, am I saying that's guaranteed that you're going to get picked up, you're going to get signed, you're going to be in a better situation? No. But you're going to look back at that season and you're not going to have any regrets. You're going to be very, very proud of the situation that you're in. More than likely, you're at peace with the game of baseball, and you can walk away and you can move on, and you can really start to work on your golf game or get to fish a lot more. Or you're gearing up and you're in the cage, you're going to the gym, you're eating right, and you're getting ready for the next season.
Well, just think about how many guys from Pecos do move up every year. You know, I mean, Cutter last year went straight from Monterey to Florence. You know, he was getting that opportunity to go play in the Frontier, and then ends up getting the invite back again this past year. You know, so it's like it's still a place to play. You know, what do you guys do to prepare yourself for the next season in the off season?
Work.
Financial.
How many of you guys get into like personal trainers?
I have.
Shane, what do you do? Like, how do you prepare your body in the off season for the next season to stay healthy?
Yeah, we're gonna come back to the dog show.
I'm lucky enough that UCF still allows me to go up there and use their facilities. I go up there and hit in the cage, work out. I hang around the guys. You know, they let me go on the field, do whatever I need to do to get ready. So I go up there and hit 3 times a week and lifting 2 times a week in between, and you know, just get ready for the season.
What kind of lifting do you do? Just pretty like standard, just like dumbbell, you know, bench press, squats, stuff, kind of like that.
I follow a program that I got when I was in affiliated ball, but they got the workouts all planned out in the book, and it's upper and lower different days, and it's got a bunch of stuff in there, but it's squats, lunges, you know, dumbbell press, and pull downs and everything, man. I mean, I'm not an expert in all that. I just follow the workout and stuff like that. But
I mean, it's got you 8 years deep, so
yeah.
Must be doing something right.
Definitely.
Snyder, what about you? For a guy that hits for so much power, how do you like sustain that? Do you put on strength? What do you do?
Oh man, like kind of same with what Shane was saying. Like, I got my junior college lets me go out there and get the hit on BP whenever I show up. Like, get the hit on the field as many rounds as I want to, doing that. But I like work out like 6 days a week, and just I try to do as much as I can in the off season, because when I get out here, like, to try to maintain as much as I can.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just, I mean, typical bodybuilding stuff mixed with some CrossFit stuff. And
I know Cutter's a big CrossFit guy.
Yeah, I do enjoy CrossFit.
I like to mix it up because I don't like it having like every Monday's this, Tuesday's this, Wednesday's this. It gets boring, and your body, for me, it starts to get used to it. Starts to get used to, every Monday is leg day, every Monday is chest day. Like, your body starts to get used to it. So if you mix it up all the time, your body's not going to get to know, and you're going to get the best performance out of that particular day.
Yeah. Yo, Lane, Gus, how do you guys, as a pitchers, prepare yourself? What do y'all do?
Me personally, I think I do pretty much the opposite of what they tell pitchers to do. I do like CrossFit. I've done bodybuilding style workouts. I've done all that stuff. I normally spend like 3.5, 4 hours in the gym in the off season. So like I work on flexibility and stuff as well, which most people I'd say don't as much as they should for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely still don't as much as I should.
Yeah, I don't.
But no, I've gotten into the CrossFit style workouts these past 6 months. I'd say from January to about May, I was big into it, learning a lot about it and stuff. Got big into deadlifts and all that stuff. So I think it's benefited a lot because it's a lot of fast twitch muscles and explosive muscles that you're using rather than just like working on size or like muscle, which is also important I think in baseball. But I feel like it's all beneficial. You should use like every part of the spectrum to broaden your game for sure.
Are you like trying to put on a lot of weight?
Right now, that's not gonna happen like at all. I've lost 16 pounds since I've been here.
Yeah, what about in the off season?
In the off season,
get ready to start the season.
Yeah, when I started the season this year, I was like 230. A couple weeks before I got down here, I was like 235 or so. But
do you think that helps with your velo?
So I've had it help with velo, but I've also thrown, I'd say, around the same velo at a scrawnier weight, but like a more flexible, athletic weight.
Yeah,
like right now, I'm 213 and I'm more mobile than I was at 230, but it's like pretty much on the same.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
I'd say soreness is the biggest difference. When I'm that heavy, I'm a lot more sore like the next day and stuff like that. Right now, being limber and stuff, I'm not that sore the following day.
Jeez, you're telling me you throw a baseball every day. I couldn't imagine doing that as a pitcher.
I think a lot of it's to do with more strength than like size. So, I mean, you can be a big dude, but you can only hit the ball 300 feet or only throw the ball 82 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But like if you work on like still getting the size and the weight, but also just being strong, that I think is the big difference. I mean, you see in pro guys sometimes too. Like you have freaking Jose Altuve hitting balls 400 feet. Like, he's not big, but he's strong. He has a good foundation to what.
Have you seen that video of him doing you talked about the stick ball stuff. He has a stick and he's hitting the bottle caps.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's strength.
Yeah.
That's what's going to get you to the next level.
Whoa. That's what I'm gonna say though. See, I agree with Snyder, but it's not even like coming at him. But this is something I always say is a big misconception. I feel like a lot of people are strong, and strength's not the thing. It's power. People forget that power and strength are two different things. You know, power is the ability to do work in a certain period of time. When you're hitting a baseball, you have 0.40 seconds, like whatever it is, 0.04 seconds.
Yeah,
something.
3 tenths of a second.
So that's the thing. Like you look at a guy like Snyder, he's like 6'3", 230, just jacked. You know what I mean? Big dude. You know, but the thing is, at the same time, while that's a strong body, he's powerful. It's not. His hands, lightning fast, quick twitch. Pitchers, same concept. You want to be powerful. You got big dudes, they don't know how to use that. Your strength, if you can't, you can lift 500 pounds, that's great. Can you do it in 1 second? That's power. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. You can have all day to do it. You don't have all day to hit a baseball. You know, so that's the thing. Always focus on power and stuff. Don't just be this big dude that can't move. Mobility is key in the sport, for real.
You definitely need both.
Yeah. Strength helps power.
That's what I mean. Like all the aspects of explosiveness, strength, flexibility, power, all that stuff. It all correlates to baseball, and I feel like same like mentally too. All of it correlates. Everything.
Well, especially like for you and Toddy, being catchers, you really have to be mobile. You really have to focus on that.
Yeah.
I mean, just to keep your hips from getting torn up. You know.
Don't skip agility day.
No.
Do your agilities. Do your stretching.
I listened to a podcast that had Arian Foster in it, which was a running back for the Houston Texans
And Miami Dolphins.
Played at the University of Tennessee. He said if he could go back, he would only focus on plyometric workouts. He said he thought that was more important for him as a running back, for him to be explosive and run fast and do all those kind of things and stay injury free. Than the typical, I guess, football workout: power clean, hang clean, bench, squat, really heavy lifting kind of stuff. And so I just thought that was an interesting take from him, from someone that's been there, played at a high level, and just to hear his thoughts about it.
Totally agree, man. I mean, you look at I'm gonna talk about catchers. I'm a catcher like Yadi and Molina, Salvador Perez. They don't have the most pleasing bodies in the world to the eye. You know, I've seen both of them. On their Instagrams, they'll take pictures after celebrating. They have their shirt off. They don't have what people expect a professional athlete to have. They don't have a six-pack per se. They not have these like chiseled arms and chest. but they're strong dudes and they're very powerful, especially when throwing. You know what I mean? I'm sure plyometrics played a part. I'm sure stretching, things like that. But they're very powerful. They're very explosive. Are they fast? No, that's a different type of explosion. We all have different things. Some of us are explosive when hitting. Some are explosive on the base pass. Some are explosive throwers. And, quick burst lateral guys in the field. But, that's the thing, dude. I'm telling you, explosion and power is a very key aspect in this game. Regardless if you have the six-pack, regardless if you look the part. That's how a lot of, guys off the islands, dude, my father's Dominican, and I get close with a lot of the Dominicans at school that came right out of the island, dude. I'm telling you right now, a lot of them don't have what you call a good body. They have this body where it's pudgy and stuff like that. These dudes are still running 6'8", 6'9". How are they doing that? They're very explosive. You don't need the body per se. It helps. It always passes the eye test. That test we always talk about. But explosion's a very big thing.
They know how to build momentum with their body. I think that's with Salvi and Yachty both. Why they're both so good is they both do such a tremendous job keeping their weight over their backside when they're throwing.
Exactly.
It's incredible. It's almost like what Kyle Porter does for his workout programs during the offseason.
Yeah. It's for real, man. Kyle Porter is very skinny dude, but he can deadlift 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Never would have thought that.
Never, yeah.
Can we get video proof of this, Kyle?
Dude looks like Gumby. You ever seen that?
It's just like it's something.
Is that on the Insta?
God, it's an urban thing.
It's urban myth.
Well, I wouldn't say urban myth, but it's when you're in urban environments, that's when he dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a hipster kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so one of our social media questions: how do you help a guy who had a tough game from Midnight Moose?
Yeah, I don't even know this kid, but I love him on the gram and stuff. So what was the question? Say the question again.
How do you help a guy who had a rough game?
I just try to remind him of his positive moments, dude. I'm big, feed the positive. If a guy's head's too big, I'll feed the negative. I'm very big. I'm serious. I like to even people out. We had a guy today at our game who said he cost us the game because he couldn't turn a double play. And I told him, listen, dude, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You've won us games before and you've been a key clock in our lineup. I just try to remind him of the good things, man. Just tell him it's going to be another time, another day tomorrow. Just take advantage of it.
What about for personally, if you had a rough day, how you get to do that?
Personally, same thing, dude. Just remember, I'm here and I've done this before and I've had success. Just remember all those good times. I'm a big visualizer. I'll take 10 minutes. You can call it meditation. You can call it whatever. 10 minutes, quiet, no noise. Visualize what I want to do and what I think can happen in the future. That always brings me peace.
Tomorrow is a brand new day, and you get to come back to the ball field and do it all over again. That's what I think about.
See, I gave you the northern take. He just gave you the southern take.
No, he gave the Oklahoma take.
Tomorrow is a brand new day, and you get to play baseball again. Golly, isn't that a great thing?
Yes, sir.
And that's what I tell other guys is, hey, you get to do it again tomorrow, and that same play happens, you get to make it. So that's it.
Is that what you tell your kids?
I don't have kids.
You know what
Oh,
I
my
mean.
players? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you have a rough game, guess what? Next weekend, you get to play again. And you get to make that same play that you messed up, you get to make it. I mean, that's it. Playing every day can be, if you look at it as a curse, it'll be a curse. If you look at it as a blessing, it's a blessing. That you get to do it every single day. No matter how rough your game was the day before, you can come back and do it again.
For my pitchers, at Zachary Led, he wants to know if he could get throwing help. So keeping your arm healthy, having a good arm path, being able to have command and control.
I'm big on bands, me personally. I don't know about you guys. I'm big on bands for arm care.
I like to learn from everyone else's routines, to be honest with you. I feel like I take a few things out of each person that I've been around's routine and add it to my own, what's beneficial for me. I do bands, I do some of the stuff the USPBL taught us for bands before throwing. I do some of the drive line arm paths now before I throw, when I throw with Toddy. Like I try to absorb as much as I can from the guys around me for sure.
I think the big thing with anything is you just have to see what works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, try all these different things and take the stuff that works, take the stuff that doesn't work.
It's like Pena said, man. Listen to your body. That's.
Pitchers. I mean, I work with pitchers in the off season, and the one thing
he was the Tulsa Chillers AA bullpen catcher.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that for Tulsa whenever they were an affiliate. So I've worked with pitching coaches and with affiliated pitching coaches, and the one thing that I always fall back on is throw a baseball. Don't, there's a lot of things out there that can help you get more velocity, get more power, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when you go up on the mound, you're going to throw a baseball. So throw a baseball. Get really good at throwing a baseball. You can do all the bands and the arm care and stuff like that. That's great. But don't forget to throw a baseball.
What's the number one rule about catching, Toddy?
You got to catch the baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we play with the baseball, so play with the baseball.
I'm a little different than other pitchers, though. One of the big things for, what is it about keeping the arm healthy or location or everything? Or all the above?
All the above. Kind of just the general gist.
I mean, I've had my number of arm injuries, and any player, I guess, in this room can honestly say they've probably had an arm issue at some point in their career. Knock on wood, yeah. But I had some pretty bad flexor common issues, which is next to the UCL, so they thought I was going to have Tommy John for a while, but it wasn't, thank God. So, honestly, just going to the gym, making sure you're taking care of your arm, keeping that flexibility, but evening out the strength training as well. People who say pitchers shouldn't lift are completely out of their minds. It's one of the most important things that we can do to stay strong, and if you want to get better at the game, you got to get stronger. And then bands, arm care, it all just kind of falls together. Keeping my arm as healthy as I have this whole time. Honestly, it's kind of eye-opening. When I was at North Greenville, we had 13 pitchers, and out of all 13 pitchers, me and one other guy were the only two that didn't have any type of surgery on our arms. We were the only two. So, and I was a senior at that time when they asked that question. There was a lot of freshmen who had already had Tommy John. I think it's pretty eye-opening. It's becoming very common, honestly. And
everyone's having Tommy John these days.
Yeah, and a big thing also, long tossing. Long tossing is huge. If you can get in, you got to. Especially, I did a lot of work. Craig Kimbrell actually went to my high school. So I did a lot of arm care stuff with that. A lot of throwing from the knees, long tossing, making sure you're hitting your spots. Working on off speed from far away. One of my favorite things to do is my change was my main pitch. And long tossing with that's one of the best things I've ever done.
Just to get it coming out of the
Yeah,
right
I had my pitching coach was Courtney Duncan. He played for the Cubs for a while, and he told me to just work with that. And that was one of those pitches I wasn't comfortable with throwing behind the count. If I was 3-1 or 3-0, I would never feel comfortable with it because I would always throw it either in the dirt or leave it way up. And long tossing with it and just making sure I'm getting my thumb through and just watching. You can actually watch from a distance because if you throw from 40 feet, it might look like it's just kind of fluttering there. But if you throw from a distance, you can actually watch it glide to the right position, the way you want it to move. So you kind of learn a little bit with that long tossing, and then once you get on the mound, it's like clockwork. So, but every pitcher's different. But I'm a big fan of long tossing and working on all the pitches and making sure your arm pattern is good. So, and strength training.
So I want to do the quick fire round real quick. Get back down to the end of the show. So I'll just go around the circle.
Get back down in the dirt.
We are down in dirt. Down in dirt all day. First question: favorite cleats?
The Nike Huaraches, 2K4s. They are the greatest cleats of all time. And I'll argue that down to my grave.
Yes.
Say honestly, I'm not anything Nike.
Rapid fire.
Anything Nike, really. I'm a Nike guy, so anything Nike. Yeah. Anything else feels like kryptonite on my feet.
Quick fire.
I'm a New Balance guy. Anything New Balance.
New Balance.
I'm Nike molded cleats.
The Nike Hirachis when I was in 7th grade. I don't know what year they were, but 7th grade. I don't know.
I was in 8th grade, yeah.
Never been a big Nike.
Myth cutter on the Hirachis.
Last year's Hirachis.
Yeah. I'm Hirachi. I'm on Team Hirachi, but I'm
2
just
years
any
back.
Hirachi, you know.
Yeah.
2K4.
Yeah,
I'm like last
shout
year's
out Nike Hirachi.
Yeah,
Where's the
that's
sponsor?
Yeah,
2 years ago.
bring
Huh?
it back. Bring it
Bring it
back.
back.
Pete, I thought you were Under Armour.
Yeah, Nike
I mean,
feels
yeah, I
the
like to
same
wear
way
Under
back.
Armour now, but like that's the thing, man. I'm gonna tell you this right
Pete
now.
just
We're
got
ta-
some new cleats.
We're talking about
Hey.
indie ball proms. Nike's a little more expensive.
Oh, okay.
So I always like to match my cleats with my bag.
Yeah, I don't even
Small
know
personal
Hirachis. I
thing.
mean,
Yeah,
those.
All right. For position players, favorite bat.
The Louisville Slugger, 243 or 271.
Anything I-13.
I like the Tucci 271s.
Mine's Old Hick GB2 or Marucci CC8.
So I'm Platinum Bat all day. Shout out to them. Shout out to Give Me Bats. If you need some, hit me up. I swing the Peter Pena 13, dude. Made my own motto, swear. That's all I swing, dude. AP5 handle with an AR-13 barrel. That's the combination. So that's my motto.
Seeds or gum?
Seeds.
A little bit of both. I'll say that. I don't
Yeah,
discriminate.
it's one or the other.
Right,
Fine, gum.
Gum.
Seeds.
Seeds.
Gum.
Go.
Gum.
High pants or low pants?
Low pants.
Low pants.
Low.
High.
High with some sick stance socks.
Low.
It hangs low.
Hi.
Hi.
Favorite uniform in the MLB? Like one team's home road
Oof,
alternate.
oof. We already talked about this one, me and you. I want to see some other
Rapid
people's-
fire, yo.
Rapid fire.
Cardinals cream jerseys.
Rockies purple.
Houston retro.
The red sleeveless jerseys.
I'm going Braves red.
Cardinals potted blue.
Oh, D-backs.
Teal.
There's
Whoa.
Dimebacks Throwback Thursday.
Oh, the purple and turquoise
Yes.
ones?
Throwback
Listen, hey man,
Thursdays.
I'm not gonna lie, everything they got just screams
Yeah.
beautiful.
Plus the Mariners
swag.
teal.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one
I like
too.
that teal
Hey,
color.
definitely succeeding at the look better, play better thing.
Kind of old school, so I definitely like the Dodgers. Just the ice white uniforms. Ice white.
Bakersfield.
Love them.
Yeah.
With the red numbers.
Yeah, those are sick. I like
Listen,
that little touch.
The Dodgers and the Yankees, I'm telling you this right now, those two teams I'd like to see add some alternates. You can do some crazy things. I'm hoping Nike's taking over next year, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do some
I just
crazy
hope they don't
things.
put. I just hope they don't put the Nike check
They
right.
put
on
it
I
in the
just
Nike
don't
check
want
mark,
it.
dude.
No,
Please
right on
don't.
the chest.
What do you mean?
They're
Please
saying
don't
they're
put
gonna
it
put
on
it
the
right
chest.
on the chest. Put it on the sleeve.
Put it on the sleeve, like Majestic does.
Just put it on the sleeve.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
not
you
big
didn't
enough.
hear me?
Last
two.
one. First
First
purchase with MLB contract.
Oh yeah.
What was the question?
Question.
First purchase with MLB contract.
It says quick fire cutter.
Honestly, I don't think I'd buy anything. I'd have to wait.
Brand new pickup truck for my dad.
New drum set.
New car.
A new house.
House.
Real estate. Yep.
I'd repair my dog's torn ACL.
Hey, I'm going with the house too, so I'm just trying to keep mine just consistent.
All right. If you guys could just go around and give your advice to guys, just overall, just short and quick.
Work hard.
Short and quick.
Obviously, with the new age of baseball, the numbers matter. Develop to put up numbers. When you go to a camp, they want to know your 60, how hard you throw, how hard your exit velocity, work to have high numbers so they'll look at you.
Play baseball as long as you can. Play till they rip the jersey off your back. We don't get to play for very long.
You determine your future. No one else does. Play the sport. If you love it, keep playing it. Don't let anyone determine if you're done.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just don't give up. If somebody tells you you can't do it, they're not the only person that knows if you can play the game or not. Just because one coach says you can't play doesn't mean he's correct.
Keep rolling with that. Prove everybody wrong each day. It's what you put into it, and just work hard every day. Never stop learning. You learn something new every day.
I'd say don't take it for granted. Taking a year and a half off of baseball really makes you appreciate coming to the field every day and playing every day. So just grind.
Have fun. That's all I got. Have fun, man.
Yeah, same. Work hard. Have fun.
I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason, and your love for the game happened for a reason. So, just ride it out till it ends, man. Ride it out till you can't. Let's, like Toddy said, let them rip the jersey off your back and just believe in you and your life, man. So I got it tattooed on my forearm. Just believe in your life. Everything's happening for a reason.
I just want to give you guys a chance real quick to plug your social media accounts if you want to. That way, that's taking.
I'm at Peter_Pena 13, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Don't snap me that much though. Don't you?
What? At Cut McDowell _32 for Twitter and Instagram.
So, yeah, be clear. Twitter, I am at ThatDudeGT19. Instagram, I am just_win_19.
At Cam with a K, 1723. That's Instagram.
Thanks, guy.
I've got nothing.
At @inked_Aquaman 13 on Instagram.
K_Porter 17 Instagram.
All right, and that is all.
And that is the end of the roundtable discussion with my teammates. Be sure to tune back in next week to hear part 1 of us talking about hitting. Thank you for getting down and dirty with me on the Down in the Dirt podcast.